Today, a single wave of his hand brings traffic to a standstill. He commands a net worth of nearly $1 billion, owns a global sports empire, and holds the undisputed title of the biggest movie star on the planet, Shah Rukh Khan. But the story of the Badshah of Bollywood doesn't begin in the palatial mansions of Mumbai or on a $1 million movie set. It begins here, in the narrow, unforgiving alleys of Rajendra Nagar, New Delhi. A boy with no money, no film connections, and absolutely zero safety net. So how did an ordinary kid become a global phenomenon? How did a boy who had lost everything end up gaining the world? Born on November 2, 1965, Shah Rukh was the son of Taj Muhammad Khan, a fiercely principled freedom fighter from Peshawar, and Latif Fatima. They weren't wealthy in the traditional sense. They lived in rented apartments, constantly navigating the financial struggles of middle-class India. But what Taj and Fatima lacked in money, they made up for in intellectual wealth. They gave their son two things: a voracious appetite for reading and an unshakable, almost arrogant level of self-belief. At St. Columba's School, Shah Rukh wasn't just another student, he was a force of nature. He was an exceptional athlete. Whether it was dominating the football field, playing hockey, or batting fiercely in intense street cricket matches with the neighborhood kids, he played every single game like his life depended on it. He hated losing. That aggressive, hyper-competitive spirit wasn't an act, it was his survival mechanism. He was so outstanding that the school awarded him their highest honor, the Sword of Honor. Young Shah Rukh had a brilliant mind, a champion's athletic ability, and a comfortable, loving home. He was building the perfect life. But destiny is incredibly cruel. Just when young Shah Rukh was preparing to step into adulthood, his father, Taj Muhammad Khan, was diagnosed with cancer. The man who had taught him the values of life, the man who was his hero, withered away. Shah Rukh was just 15 years old. The emotional and financial pillar of the house was suddenly gone, leaving his mother, Fatima, to raise the family single-handedly. But tragedy wasn't done with him yet. A decade later, the cruelest blow struck. In 1990, his mother, the absolute center of his universe, succumbed to complications from diabetes. Shah Rukh Khan, at the age of 25, was completely orphaned. He was left standing in a hospital, staring at an empty void, carrying a grief so heavy it would have crushed an ordinary man. When you lose everything, you have two choices. You either let the darkness consume you, or you become the fire. Shah Rukh chose the latter. He desperately needed an escape. He needed a place where he didn't have to be the grieving, heartbroken son. He found that sanctuary on the stage. Under the mentorship of the renowned theater director Barry John, Shah Rukh threw himself completely into acting. The stage became his therapy. Every ounce of his anger, his profound sorrow, and his immense, relentless energy was channeled directly into his performances. He wasn't just acting to entertain, he was acting to survive. This raw, uncontainable nervous energy soon caught the eye of television directors. He landed a role as Abhimanyu Rai in the military television series Fauji. Almost overnight, this rebellious, fast-talking young soldier became a national sensation. People weren't just watching the show, they were mesmerized by him. He followed it up with another hit series, Circus. He had effectively conquered Indian television. He had a steady income, nationwide fame, and a comfortable life in Delhi. For anyone else, this would be the ultimate happy ending. But Shah Rukh remembered a promise, a silent vow he had made to his late mother that he would become someone so big the entire world would know his name. Television was a comfortable cage, and he was a tiger meant for the wild. With barely 1,500 rupees in his pocket, he boarded a train to Mumbai, a city that builds empires, but also a city that crushes thousands of dreams every single day. The initial days were brutal. He slept on railway station platforms, spent nights on the couches of friends, and faced the relentless, unforgiving heat of a struggling actor's life. Bollywood in the early 90s was a highly exclusive club, dominated by star kids and established dynasties. Outsiders were meant to play supporting roles, not lead the show. But Shah Rukh wasn't there to be a side character. There was a legendary story from these early days of struggle. Standing on Marine Drive, looking out at the vast expanse of the Arabian Sea and the glittering lights of Mumbai, a frustrated but fiercely determined Shah Rukh Khan raised his hands and declared to his friends, "One day, I will rule this city." It sounded like the empty boast of a desperate, grieving boy, but he meant every single word. He hustled endlessly, running from one studio to another. His chaotic, unpolished energy was entirely different from the traditional, perfectly groomed heroes of the time. Many directors simply didn't know what to do with him. They told him his hair was too messy, his nose was too big, and he spoke way too fast. He didn't look like a conventional Bollywood hero. But then came the turning point. Refusing to wait for the perfect launch, he signed multiple films at once, taking whatever work he could get. The legendary Hema Malini saw a unique spark in him and cast him in Dil Ashna Hai. However, it was Deewana, released in 1992, that truly unleashed the phenomenon of Shah Rukh Khan onto the silver screen. When he made his entry on a roaring motorcycle, singing Koi Na Koi Chahiye, the audience didn't just see a new actor, they felt a sudden electric shift in the atmosphere. The theaters erupted. A star was officially born. He wasn't just surviving anymore. The grieving Delhi boy had successfully infiltrated the gates of Bollywood. But surviving in Mumbai and ruling it are two very different things. To claim the throne, Shah Rukh realized he had to do something that would absolutely terrify every other established actor in the industry. He had to become the villain. In the early 1990s, the Bollywood hero was a figure of absolute virtue. He was righteous, perfectly moral, and could do no wrong. For a newcomer to play a negative role was considered absolute career suicide. If you played the villain once, you were permanently typecast as the bad guy forever. But Shah Rukh Khan didn't have a godfather to protect his image. He had nothing to lose, and he was hungry to prove his acting mettle. When established superstars rejected the roles of obsessive, psychopathic killers because they feared ruining their pristine images, Shah Rukh saw a golden opportunity. He grabbed the scripts that terrified everyone else. He signed Bazigar and Dar. What happened next defied every single rule of Indian cinema. As the vengeful killer in Bazigar, shockingly throwing his leading lady off a terrace, he stunned the nation. In Dar, playing a violent, stuttering stalker whispering, "I love you, kick, 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 Kiran," he sent chills down the spine of every viewer. He was the villain, he was the monster, yet the audience did the unthinkable. They rooted for the bad guy. They sympathized with his pain. His undeniable charisma, those intense eyes, and that raw, chaotic energy overpowered the sinister nature of his characters. He didn't just survive these negative roles, he completely hijacked the industry with them. He won the Best Actor award for playing a cold-blooded murderer. He had rewritten the rulebook. He had proven that he didn't need to play the traditional good boy to win the crowd. He could carry a film entirely on his sheer, unadulterated magnetism. He had successfully conquered the dark side of cinema and cemented his place in the industry. But the man who had just traumatized the nation as a terrifying psychopath was about to pull off the greatest cinematic illusion of all time. Having conquered fear, he was about to completely pivot and teach an entire generation how to love. In 1995, a young director named Aditya Chopra came to him with a script for a pure, unadulterated love story called Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. Shah Rukh was initially hesitant. He considered himself an action hero, a dark, edgy performer. He didn't think he had the face or the demeanor for a soft, romantic lead. But Shah Rukh told him something prophetic. If you don't do this film, you will never be a superstar. Shah Rukh took the leap, and what followed was a cultural earthquake. As Raj Malhotra, he didn't just play a character, he redefined the very concept of romance for an entire nation. He was charming, flawed, deeply respectful of family values, yet incredibly modern. He spread his arms wide open in the mustard fields of Punjab, and an entire generation ran into his embrace. The film didn't just break box office records, it became the longest-running movie in the history of Indian cinema. Suddenly, the psychotic killer was dead, replaced by the ultimate dream lover. From there, the ascent was meteoric. He delivered blockbuster after blockbuster. Dil To Palo Hai, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, Kal Ho Na Ho. He became the undisputed king of romance. But his impact wasn't confined to the borders of India anymore. Shah Rukh Khan became the global ambassador of Bollywood. For millions of Indians living abroad, he was their emotional connection back home. He single-handedly opened up massive overseas markets in the UK, the US, and the Middle East, transforming Bollywood into a global multi-million-dollar industry. When foreign dignitaries visited India, they didn't just want to see the Taj Mahal, they wanted to meet Shah Rukh Khan. He had built his empire. He bought his palatial sea-facing mansion, Monat, and lived the impossible dream he had yelled out on Marine Drive all those years ago. He was standing at the absolute summit of the world, untouchable, invincible, and universally adored. He had conquered everything a man could possibly conquer. But the higher you climb, the harder the wind blows. The universe has a strange way of testing its favorites, and a massive storm was quietly gathering, one that would threaten to strip away his crown, break his spirit, and test whether the king still had the strength to fight. The 2010s brought an unexpected chill to the king's reign. The cinematic landscape was shifting rapidly, and the classic romantic formula that had built his empire began to crack. Ambitious, high-risk projects like Fan and Zero, despite his incredible physical and emotional commitment, crashed at the box office. The critics were merciless. The media, which had once worshipped the ground he walked on, started writing his professional obituary. Headlines blared that the era of Shah Rukh Khan was definitively over. Younger stars were claiming the box office, and whispers echoed through the industry. The king has lost his touch. But professional failure was nothing compared to the devastating personal agony that awaited him. In 2021, a highly publicized legal and media circus surrounded his family, directly targeting his eldest son. The man who had spent his life speaking to millions, charming the media, and entertaining the masses, suddenly fell completely silent. The microphones were pushed away. The balcony of Monat, where he had smiled and waved to oceans of fans for decades, remained terrifyingly empty. For almost 4 long years, the king vanished into the shadows. People assumed the father had been broken. They assumed the actor was finally done. But they forgot one crucial detail. They forgot that long before he was the polished king of romance, he was the aggressive, hyper-competitive boy from Delhi who simply refused to lose. They forgot the boy who had learned to survive by fighting back. In 2023, the agonizing silence was shattered. He didn't return with a soft, forgiving love story. He returned with fire, blood, and unimaginable action. Pathaan hit the screens like a cinematic hurricane. The theaters didn't just fill up, they turned into massive celebrations. People danced in the aisles, fireworks were set off inside cinema halls, and the global box office numbers didn't just break records, they obliterated them. But he wasn't done making his point. Just months later, he unleashed Jawan, an even bigger monster that proved Pathaan wasn't just nostalgia, it was sheer dominance. In a single year, he delivered 2 colossal, record-shattering blockbusters, a feat unprecedented in the century-long history of Indian cinema. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a loud, undeniable, roaring reminder of exactly who sat on the throne. From the dusty streets of Rajendra Nagar, through the crushing grief of losing his parents, to conquering a hostile industry and surviving its darkest, most vicious storms, Shah Rukh Khan proved that his story is the ultimate masterclass in resilience. He didn't just rule the city he promised to conquer on Marine Drive all those years ago, he ruled the hearts of billions across the globe, and he proved, once and for all, that a true king doesn't just know how to wear the crown, he knows how to forge it again from the ashes.